YouTube, hello, my name is Natalie and I'm going to London in a few days time, in 2 days time. Today is Friday, I am leaving on Sunday and I bought my ticket I think 3 days ago. I'm very excited and I figured that instead of taking one camera with a few favorite lenses to choose from, I thought I would take 2 cameras, each of which that has my favorite lens for that respective camera, my micro four thirds and my full frame. And these 2 lenses over here that I'm taking with me, I would not be taking with me if it wasn't for a little video that I need to put together, a little job that I'm doing. So these 2 are for that, so they're not really anything that I'm taking for the sake of going out around London and shooting with. So got my GH5, which is very dusty right now, and the lens I'm choosing for the GH5 is my Lumix Leica 12-60 f2.8 to 4. I used to have the Lumix version of this one, the 3.5 to 5.6, and that was my favorite one for a very long time, and then I eventually got this one and I made a video all about it, so feel free to check it out if you're interested. Let's put this in here. Taking my Panasonic S5 as well, that's the full frame camera, and I've got the Sigma 14 to 24 f2.8 on here. Now this is a lens that I was really excited to get back in the day, but I haven't used it nearly as much as I was expecting to. But I will be doing a lot more photography and video with this down the line. I have been shooting a lot of tutorials and YouTube videos with it, but I haven't really featured it in anything that I've done yet. But I do plan to get a lot more experience with this over this next year, and I plan to put together a really nice video for you guys. That's gonna go over here. Teleprompter. This is to help me keep track of things that I need to say in the videos that I make for you guys. As I said, I've got my 2 little lenses that I'm not going to speak too much about. They're old lenses, I've made videos about them before, but I have something in the works in there. This over here is empty right now, but in here my 2 SSDs go, and that's what I edit off of. It's what I do all my work off of. Most of my video editing goes on SSDs, and if you've watched my previous workflow videos, you'll understand what I mean by that. Empty right now, but that goes. I actually haven't decided a place for this yet, so let's put it over there. This is my first ever microphone that I got, a Comica. I'll put the actual name on the screen right now, but right now I use the case. And for audio, I'll be taking my Zoom H1N. I've got some dead cats over here, one for this and then one for my actual Comica microphone, which is also going with me, which is in here. I'll open this in a few seconds. But on this topic, on this note, I think that with all the microphones that I have, the Comica still is pretty up there for me. It's just a really good, well-priced microphone that I would recommend to any beginner or even amateur that wants to just have a dedicated mic for their videos. In here, some business cards, which are just there because I don't know where else to put them. And then here's my little cable for attaching my Comica to a smartphone. And the one that I'm going to be using to attach it to a camera is in here. I'll show you now. That goes over here, if I'm not mistaken. This is an exciting pouch. This is my action camera pouch. The filters, ND filters for my Osmo Action, as well as some wires, all the USB-C wires and stuff like that go here. And I'm using the Osmo Action to record this part over here. I've got the little adapter to attach my Comica mic to that. So this is my little, very small form factor vlogging setup with this tiny little tripod that I bought at a market. Fits very nicely in here. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm quite nervous making this video for some reason, so I think my voice is coming out quite monotone. I need to change that. YouTube, hello, my name is Natalie, and I'm very nervous making this video for some reason. It's over here. I made a video on these guys. These are my Freewell variable magnetic ND filters, the 95mm version. So this fits on all my lenses with step up and step down rings and all that stuff. Step up rings. That's going with me here, as well as the relevant step up rings. Oops. Which are in here. So this is a basic toiletry bag for traveling, but I just have all my little thingies in here. It's mostly wires. I've taken notes of the lenses that I have and the step-up rings or the filters that I'll be using, and these are the step-up rings that would be useful for the lenses that I have. So those are there. White balance cards. These are ND filters for my smaller lenses if I decide to use them, seeing as I am packing them in. These are newer. These are the first ND filters I ever got, and I got them a good few years ago, and I used them for about 2 years, and they're cheap. They are the cheaper, they're on the less expensive end on ND filters, but I can't complain about them. When it comes to color casting with filters, you just need to learn how to do your white balance correction before you start shooting, or how to do it in post. It's really easy to do in post with photography, and it's manageable with video, but that's all I'm gonna say about that. SD card, pouchy, and then I just got a whole bunch of wires. Here's my laptop charger, lots of cables and stuff, things that I might need, chargers, just everything that doesn't have a place there just goes in here. I should put this all back in. These are probably one of the best things I invested in terms of my video making and also my photography. These are the Aperture MCs. I got a 4-pack of these, and I came with the little charge, not the little, like that case box charger, but I haven't used that in almost a year and a half because I haven't been back to Germany, which is where I bought them, and that box is over there. So, but these over here with the cables for charging, I use these in every single video that I make, whether it be just a YouTube video or for stuff that I'm working on. These things are just one of the best investments I've made. And I made a video about it, so do check it out if you're interested in seeing a slightly alternative way of using these Aperture MCs. And my voice has gone back to monotone because I'm nervous. Okay. This goes in here somewhere. Just pack it in there. Got my little lens cleaner thing that I won. Waterproofing for my bag. And my camera bag that I have is actually a not super, but it's a relatively cheap bag that I found on Amazon back when I was starting off with photography, and I didn't want to spend an absolute fortune on a bag. So I got this thing over here, which I believe was like 41 pounds, and I can't find it on Amazon anymore, but I really wish I could find it because I would definitely put that link down in the description. It served me incredibly well given the price over the past few years, and I'm really happy to keep using it. The trick was that I actually got myself a bag that fits a DJI Phantom. So it's slightly thicker, wider, and just helps you fit just a little bit more in there. With the little gaps that I have in here, I'm gonna fit in like underwear, socks, maybe a couple t-shirts that I wanna take with me. That's not what I decided. My laptop, I'm taking with me a relatively, well, it is actually completely brand new. I haven't used it much. It's my new MacBook Pro. I'm doing the transition to Mac. How did I plan to put this in here? I can't remember. That's how I plan to do it. Can you tell I haven't traveled in a while? Apertures go. That's that. That's how I'm traveling. Give or take a few undies in here. But this will be one of the last times that I do travel with this bag. As much as I do like it, I'd like to get a rolly bag because my bag. Yeah, so these what's in my camera bag videos, I wasn't planning on making one for you guys because I don't really have a fixed camera bag setup. I very rarely use this bag. I usually use a small little side pouch bag and put a camera in there depending on what I'm planning to shoot with. And I don't usually take both of my cameras out with me because I usually know which one I want to take, or I'll just take one and just take my chances with what I have with me. Unless of course I have a planned project which involves both cameras or different lenses, which will need both cameras, then I'll do that. But I don't have a fixed camera setup. So the traveling on Sunday has presented a nice opportunity to share what I'm taking with me for this trip. Let's hope I haven't forgotten anything. That's it for today, folks. Thanks so much for stopping by. A very impromptu video. I'm sorry if my face is underexposed or whatever. I just threw this together. The lounge is being used by my mom, who recently came back to stay with me for a while. So I'll catch you at the next fit. I'll see you in London.